My name is Noah Haynes. Welcome to your Alt Culture Weekend. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. Been a lot going on this week, which we're going to get into soon here. And you know, of course, as always, there's going to be new music that we got to talk about. So let me just tell you a little bit about what's going to happen during the show today. We're going to hit some things going on here in Tuscaloosa. You know, it's award season, so we got to get into that and everything that's been going on with that. We're going to talk about maybe a little... news of the week, what's been going on in the alt scene and what music people have been doing, what they've been talking about. Maybe some lawsuits, not for me, I promise, but there may be some out there. We gotta keep our eye on. New food is coming out. They're just making new foods these days, and so all that stuff we're gonna keep you abreast of as we spend this next hour together. Be sure to check out all the music that we're playing on this hour. If you hear anything that you like, we'll have a little playlist up on our Alt 1017 Spotify playlist at the end of the show. So be sure to go check that out if you hear anything that you like. But I'll be bringing you through it, telling you a little bit about what's going on, and introducing all this new music that I've been listening to and that just came out yesterday or earlier this week. As for this first album that I want to bring up, this first artist, Charlotte Sands, came out with Can We Start Over back on Wednesday. And so I've been listening to it for this second half of the week. And you know what? I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Charlotte Sands album. It's got a very punk rock feel to it. And I really like her voice. It's got a nice, soothing quality that contrasts well with the instrumentation. The lyrics that she puts and the rhymes that she uses, I am enjoyable. If you're a fan of pop punk, you got to check it out because it's a very reliable album. She really relies on sort of the standards of pop punk, and she's not necessarily doing anything that's cutting edge or artsy. But I mean, if the stuff is good, if the standards are good, what's wrong with that? Do we have to be artsy? Do we have to be doing something new? I think she does something that's good, and I think sometimes that's good enough. And you know what? She's got some good songs. I enjoy. I would say at least 80% of the songs of the album are bangers. I was having a hard time trying to decide which ones to pick to play for you. I may play two. I've got two that I'm thinking about that I want to play tonight, and the one that I've got up first is "Use Me." So this is "Use Me" by Charlotte Sands off of her new album "Can We Start Over." Hope you enjoy.
Tuscaloosa's only source for everything alternative. Alt 1017.
Alt 1017. This is your Alt Culture Weekend. My name is Noah, and I hope you're hungry because we got the list that just came out this week of Alabama's top 10 favorite dessert. And this is a specific type of dessert. This is their top 10 favorite pies. Nom, 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 nom. Are you a pie fan? Send me an app message on the Alt 117 app and let me know what your favorite pie is. But we're going to be looking at this evening, of what some of the state seems to think is the best pie. And you got to stay tuned for number one. But starting closer to the bottom of the pile, of the pie, you know what I'm saying? We got, I was disappointed to see that it only made it to number 10, is the blueberry pie. I was like, come on, guys. You got to get it together a little bit. I'm a big fan of the blueberry pie, the blueberry cobbler. I was disappointed to hear that, they weren't doing so hot, and they're at number 10. But Alabama's top 10 favorite pies, number 9 is pumpkin pie. And you know what? I say keep it there. Number 9, that's where the pumpkin pie should stay. Because if you eat the pumpkin pie without the whipped cream, you know what? It's just no good. It sucks. So I think you have to judge it on terms of if it has toppings or not. And I think if the topping is something that you have to add on, then it doesn't count as part of the pie. And if you just take the base of the pie, it's not very enjoyable. So pumpkin pie, number 9, I think that's where it deserves to go. I'm sad to see another one low on the poll. Is number 8 is the cherry pie. Come on, guys. Do we not enjoy our berries? Do we not enjoy our fruits and vegetables? We got blueberry pie at number 10. We got pumpkin at number 9 and cherry at number 8. Come on, guys. You got to get this. You got to get your stuff together. We're going to be talking about some of the greatest favorite pies here in Alabama throughout the show. So I need to know what your favorite is. Send me a message on the Alt 117 app. In some alternative music news this week, Madonna. Have you heard of her? She's been sued. She said she's going to vigorously defend herself, getting this from Entertainment Weekly, because she had a show. Here's the situation. She had a show, and she started it late. There was apparently some technical issues. This was back in mid-December, and they delayed the show. Some people weren't happy about that. Some fans of Madonna were there to see the show, and then they didn't get to see it until like an hour or so late. It says the December performance started roughly after 10 p.m. local time, though the show's announced start time was 8:30 p.m. And so some of the this month, some of the attendees said that they were going to sue Madonna for unfair and or deceptive trade practices by listing 8:30 as the start time, but then ending the show, they said, around 1 a.m. And because it went so long, it's because it started so late. They said they had to get up early to work the next day, and they were having some issues with that. And because it started so late, that was something that they had to deal with. So I don't know. What do you think that it's fair to expect that a concert starts on a certain time? I know, like the worst thing in the world is that if you go here and then the concert gets canceled, would you rather the concert start late and everything go okay, or do you think it's fair to expect for things to start at a certain time? It seems like concerts are always starting late. There's something always behind. It's like, oh, show up at this time. I'm like, I'm going to show up like 30 minutes later because you're not going to start on time. And is it right to expect it to start in a certain time, especially in if you're going to a concert like midweek or something like that? Should you maybe, if you've got work the next day, should you really be going to a concert that's going to be starting in the evening time? Or should you, is that on you to be a little more responsible about planning out your week? So, but I mean, if you got a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see Madonna, maybe you're going to go despite you got work the next day. So if you have thoughts on that, send me a message on the free Alt 1017 app. I personally think that, you can sue whoever you want now, but I think if it's something outside the control, like if it was something that the artist was just done because they were being like an irresponsible person, then I would say, okay, maybe there's a fair argument here. But if it's something that's outside of their control, this technical issue, and then they had to start the concert late just so that way the concert could be fine, then I think, hey, that's just part of live music. Is what you buy into. But given that situation, I don't think it's necessarily fair for Madonna to sort of compensate these two fellows for their experience, but maybe you have different thoughts. Send me a message and let me know, and we can talk about it. That you, like I said, you can get that on that free Alt 1017 app. We got to get into some more music already. We are chugging along. We've got this next album, came out yesterday. Courting is the name of the band, and their album is a New Last Name. This band is based in Liverpool, so across the pond, you might say, our British brethren, and they've got some longer songs on this album. So if you got that short attention span, maybe skip this one. But I don't think you should, because this is my favorites from the show tonight. Is this New Last Name? This is what they said about the album the band did. It's actually a collection of our most contained pop songs and strangest experiments sat side by side. Which I think they do have some really. I do think that's true for what the album is. They've got some fun, catchy grooves, and then they also have some songs where there's like there's one song, for example, that has like a hard metal guitar bridge with some saxophone and auto-tuned vocals on top of that, which it sounds more like a mishmash than it is. It like works perfectly fine in the song, but I like their lyrics. They got a lot of fun energy, and so I'm gonna throw it to this first song from them. I think we'll see if we can play another one from them tonight. We see if we have time. We only got an hour here, folks, but I'm gonna throw it to Courting, and with their song "Throw." This is the opener off their new album, New Last Name. Here we go.
Life sucks. Our new app doesn't.
Download the Alt 1017 app now and listen live anywhere, anytime.
Tuscaloosa's new alternative is Alt 1017.
All right, this is Alt Culture Weekend. My name is Noah. Just a moment ago, we heard from Suki Waterhouse and OMG. That's a recent song from them. We like to sprinkle in some recent releases in addition to new stuff. So here on the show, I like to tell you about what's been going on in the news lately. Did you know it's an election year? We are now in an election year, January 2024. That multiple of 4 means it's time to vote. Well, not just yet, but later on in the year. But stuff has been happening in this presidential race. Ron DeSantis, he pulled out earlier this week. He was like, no way, guys. I'm not going to do it. And it was like, did we really expect him to make it that far? Did we really expect him to make it all the way to the end? I, for one, did not. And I think maybe you didn't either. But if you did, if you're a big Ron DeSantis head, let me know. I mean, if you think he's going to make a comeback, maybe this is all a ploy, a plot, a plan. I don't know. No, he's definitely out. But someone who's still in, RFK, came to Tuscaloosa earlier this week. It was a bit of a rainy day. All this rain sort of making things soggy. But Robert F. Kennedy was like, hey, I'm on the campaign trail. You know where I need to go? I need to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and the University of Alabama to sort of talk to the constituents there. And we'll see how that works out for him. But people are campaigning. And, you know, whenever people are campaigning, they got to do what they can do to get to you. That's what they say. That's what they say. I didn't make that up. But so one of those ways that they like to hype up the crowd whenever they are traveling around and talking to different people is they like to, you know, play some music. You know, I'm playing music for you to hype you up, to get you excited about new music that's coming out here in the alternative space. And just like me, these presidential wannabes are doing the same thing. You know, they're biting my style here. And Donald Trump is one of those people, and he has been playing this song, and he's been getting into some trouble for it. So Donald Trump has been playing the song by the Smiths called Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want. And you can kind of imagine the context for that. Please, please, please let me get what I want, a re-election perhaps? Whoa! So he's been playing this song, and Johnny Marr of the Smiths has said, hey, that's my song. I don't want you to use it at your rallies because I don't support you. So now there's a bit of a, you know, conundrum here. Do you have control, after you put out the art that you make, do you have control of how people use it, of what people use it at? I mean, obviously, if someone's using it in a commercial or something, you have control over that. But if someone's just playing it at a rally or something, do they have to listen to you, or can they play it? Does the art belong to the people? Can we just play what we want to and sort of, you know, maybe support some beliefs that you don't agree with as the artist? I personally think that, you know, whenever you put out there, I may not like what you do with it, but I can't control what you do. And, you know, obviously it's fine to put out the message to say, like, hey, I don't condone this. But whenever it's out there, and people are going to do what they're going to do. And it's only if someone you might say is profiting off of it. So if Donald Trump wins, Johnny Marr can come back here and say, hey, pay up. You know, it's my song here. It helped you get all the way to the Oval Office again. Make me like the White House. Put me in your cabinet. Make me in charge of like all the music stuff, or maybe even like, you know, make me give me a budget to write the next Hamilton. You know, I'm a musician. You know, Lin-Manuel Miranda came and talked to Obama and everything when he was working on Hamilton. You know, give me a residency and let me do Hamilton for. I wonder who would be a good person to do. You know what would be funny is if they did. You know, James Buchanan with the 15th president. He was kind of a loser. He didn't do like anything except like not prevent the Civil War. So what could be good is if you just make a musical about him, and it's like, you know, he's I don't know if I'd say an anti-hero, but he's a loser, you know? You ever seen a loser? That would be him. And you could make a little dark comedy about that, you know? I think maybe Johnny Marr should capitalize on that if he's got a chance. Then there could maybe be something that comes from that happening. So maybe he could get a little residency. Speaking of residencies, the Killers now have a residency in Las Vegas. They're going to be performing their Hot Fuss at their new Las Vegas residency. So if you're a big Killers fan, if you want to go see some of their hits performed from that iconic album, maybe check them out if you're out there in Las Vegas. You know, it's not just casinos and stuff. You don't just have to lose your money. You can also lose your mind listening to the Killers perform Hot Fuss. Mr. Brightside, of course, is all off that album. And then somebody told me, okay, I'm trying to remember all the ones that this album came out in 2004, okay? This is 20 years ago. So they've done enough now to earn their own Las Vegas residency, and good for them. We'll see how the show goes. Hopefully they don't get in any trouble doing their show. Hopefully they're not like you seen that Elvis movie where Elvis had his own, he had a residency, and he maybe he shouldn't have stayed there. He maybe got a little too much on the sauce. He maybe got a little too much caught up in the Las Vegas lifestyle, and he acted a little crazy. Elle King also, if you've heard of her, she acted a little crazy earlier this week. She was at the Grand Ole Opry, and she was maybe a little drunk, maybe a little on the sauce too, and said some expletives and stuff like that. And then people were like, "What the heck? We don't like this," and they had to come out and apologize. So killers, don't go down the path of Elvis or anything like that. Just stay on the straight and narrow, and you'll be okay, and everything will be fine. Just be more chill, and you'll be cool. All right. We got some more great music that we got to get into. Our next band that came out with an album just yesterday is Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. Psst, that's my rattlesnake sound. So Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes came out with a new album yesterday. The name of this album is Dark Rainbow. And I've been trying to figure out how to describe this album, because it's a bit of I don't want to say classic. I want to say classical rock, not like classic rock, but classical rock, because it's kind of like very leaning into like instrumentals, but also it is classic. Like if you try to imagine and picture what a rock album sounds like, then you would probably imagine a lot of what they do here on this album. And it's maybe not particularly my style, but I think there's some good songs off this album that I'm a fan of. And maybe if you are hearing the songs and the music that I've been playing here on the show, and you're like, I hate this stuff, well, maybe go check this out and see what you think of it. It's I'm gonna play this song called Brambles from Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. This is off their new album Dark Rainbow. Here's Brambles.
We're not going to tell you how to live your life, but we are going to tell you to download the Alt 1017 app now.
Tuscaloosa's new alternative is Alt 1017.
It's All Culture Weekend. My name is Noah. We just heard from Ecstasy and their song Bella. All right, so this has been a big week for awards. We're in award season, like I mentioned earlier, and the Grammys are coming up. What is it? Next weekend? So next Sunday, not tomorrow Sunday, but next Sunday, the Grammys are going to be happening. They've already been announcing who's going to be performing at the Grammys. Dua Lipa is going to be there, Travis Scott, Billie Eilish, Luke Combs, Olivia Rodrigo, Burna Boy. Going to be some fun people playing. I'm particularly excited for Dua Lipa. I'd love if she performed Dance the Night. I was super sad to see that earlier this week also the Oscar nominations came out. And a category that I had my eye on was the Best Original Song. And Barbie was nominated, and it had 3 options that it could have gotten in for Best Original Song. What Was I Made For? By Billie Eilish. I'm Just Ken by Ryan Gosling. And Dance the Night by Dua Lipa. And honestly, I'm being 100% here, is I think Dance the Night should get in and should win. But unfortunately, not only is it not going to win, but it didn't even get in. So they did not recognize. They can only recognize 3 songs from a certain movie in one category, in that Best Original Song category, and they picked What Was I Made For and I'm Just Ken, which is, both those songs are very good, and I'm excited to see them perform them. But Dance the Night is a bop. Dua Lipa, come on. You're just shutting her out. You're snubbing her. People are talking about snubs this week. They said, speaking of Barbie, I mean, no one's talking about that one, but, that's just because they're uneducated. People are talking about how Margot Robbie was snubbed for not being in Best Actress, and, Greta Gerwig wasn't in Best Director. But, who was in Best Director? Justine Triet, which is maybe not a name you're familiar with, but she directed this movie called Anatomy of a Fall, which I think is one of the best movies of the year. It's like a courtroom thriller, crime drama, a little bit. And if you just hear those words, that's not going to be a complete accurate depiction of what it actually is. Like, the screenplay for it got nominated for a screenplay, and I think that says a lot. because it's a very good screenplay. There's a lot of talking, in the courtroom. They're talking. They're playing tapes of what was going on. They're trying to figure out who did this crime and whether someone might be at fault for it. This woman and her husband. The husband falls out of a window and dies. And did she do it? I don't know. So Justine Triet, she got in for Anatomy of a Fall. If that movie sounds interesting to you at all, if you were feeling this incensed rage at the fact that Greta Gerwig is not in there for Barbie, for her directing, you can go check out that movie this weekend. It's playing here in Tuscaloosa. Now that they've announced the Best Picture nominees, several of those are playing here at the Tuscaloosa Theater here in Tuscaloosa. And so you can go check them out. You can go check out Anatomy of a Fall right now. We've got an article up on the Alt 1017 page or on the app, whichever one, it works the same, about those Oscar movies playing here this weekend in Tuscaloosa and moving forward throughout the next week or so. So you can go on and look at all the movies that they're playing, including Anatomy of a Fall, and you can see if you missed them whenever they were back in theaters, maybe go check them out now. In addition to Anatomy of a Fall, they got Barbie, if you want to see it again, or if you want to see it for the first time. They got Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, which, I might go see again because I watched it through the first time, and I think maybe it would be good for me to see it again. I missed the first couple of minutes, so, some people say those are some of the best minutes of the film, so I maybe got to go see it again. And so Oppenheimer, and then the last one that they're playing is, to see what that is, you got to go check it out. You got to go check out the article. So those are 4. There's one more. You got to go check out the article, alt1017.com, or just open up your Alt 1017 app, and it'll be there, right there at the top. Okay, so those are some Oscar nominations came out earlier this week. Those are some thoughts that people have been saying about them. Like I said, people have been talking about the snubs and everything. It was interesting to see the not only were a lot of people upset about Barbie being out, Hillary Clinton herself was a little sad to see that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie did not get in. Here's the tweet that she put out earlier this week. Greta and Margot, while it can sting to win the box office but not take home the gold, your millions of fans love you. Oh my God. I wonder what that might be referencing. In this election year, I wonder what she could be talking about. So there's a little joke from old Hillary Clinton. But she said, you're both so much more than enough. Referencing Ken in the Barbie movie, who is nominated for an supporting actor. Ryan Gosling is up for Ken. And you know what? He's not going to win, because I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to take it. But it would be fun, It would be fun if Ryan Gosling won. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie, is Ryan Gosling's performance. So those are some things going on. Stay tuned as we get closer to Grammy nominations in the next weekend. We'll be talking more about those. The Razzies also came out, but I'm gonna save that for next break. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Razzies next break. Speaking of raspberries, though, we got to get back to our pies. So we're talking about some of the best pies, our favorite pies of Alabama, and we got up to number 7, which is the famous apple pie. What? You would have thought apple pie was maybe going to be higher. I would have said number 1, but apple pie's at number 7. Number 6 is key lime, which we should put that down farther. Does anyone really like key lime? I think it's like, this has to be like part of the Matrix, that everyone's just like in on this con, that key lime pie is an enjoyable pie. It's not, guys. I'm sorry. Cream pie is at number 5, and lemon meringue pie is at number 4. To see what the top 3 are, you got to stay for the next break. We got to stop, play some music. I want to play you this album, a song from this album by Katie Kirby. She's got this new album out, Blue Raspberry, just came out yesterday. It's very singer-songwriter-esque. Sounds like she's like right up there singing in your ear, and I enjoyed some of the songs off of it. She uses piano a lot like Fiona Apple, so if you're a fan of Fiona Apple, go check out this album. I want to play you Drop Dead from Blue Raspberry by Katie Kirby. Here you go.
WQRR, Reform, Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa's new alternative. Alt 1017.
Hey, you're listening to Alt Culture Weekend here on Alt 1017. My name is Noah. I wanted to play another song there after the ad break. I had another song from Charlotte Sands, Get Over It, that I really wanted to play, but I'm running low on time, guys. So what you can do is if you go to the Alt 1017 Spotify page, we've got the playlist from this week and last week if you missed it. And I've got a couple extra songs in there. I've got this extra song from Charlotte Sands, plus another song from Courting the Wedding, which I was not able to play in time, but I want you to go check out. So go check that out on our Alt 117 Spotify, and you can enjoy these songs again and again. We gotta go through real quick here on some topics. We gotta wrap up some things. I want to hit the raspberries and the pies. So the Razzie Awards nominations came out earlier this week, and on the list, I'll hit some of these main categories here. Worst Picture, they had The Exorcist Believer. Oh gosh, Expendables 4. Oh no, Meg 2, The Trench. Saw some of that one. I fell asleep halfway through. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Oh no, box office bomb. And Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Winnie the Pooh became public domain last year, just like the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse became public domain this year. And someone made a horror movie about Winnie the Pooh, and it was not very good. So those are some of the worst pictures up for the Razzies, but we'll jump over to the pies real quick, talking about some of the top 10 favorite pies in Alabama. And I am not a fan of these top 3, but apparently everyone else here is, so maybe I'm just crazy. But number 3 is sweet potato pie. Oh my gosh, no, I don't like the sweet potato pie. Number 2 is pecan pie. Okay, not a big fan, but okay, we'll go pecan pie. And number 1, I can actually get behind this a little bit, it's the peach cobbler. That is the number 1 pie, is a cobbler, and is here in Alabama. So if you're a fan of peach cobbler, congrats. They won number 1, most searched up, most enjoyed, datafied, number 1 best pie in Alabama. So that is, some of the best pies. If you want to see the rest of the list, if you missed it from earlier, you can go check out alt1017.com. We got that list up there. You can see some of the new movies playing here in Tuscaloosa. That's what I want to tell you. I should note is they've got a bunch of these Oscar movies back in theaters, but there is also a new movie by Ava DuVernay, Origin. I just watched it last night, and it's a little choppy, but some of those settings in it, some of the scenes are very, very powerful. I say go in as blind as you can and just see what happens. So closing out things here on Alt Culture Weekend here on Alt 1017 WQRR. Gonna close with some music from our last artist of the night. Torres has her song Collect from her new album What an Enormous Room, and I was listening to this album, and I would say it's spacious but not spacey. It's got a lot of droniness, and I know I said last break that Katie Kirby was pretty singer-songwriter. This is kind of singer-songwriter-esque, but it's like rock version a little bit. So take a listen to this. If you enjoy it, go check out the album What an Enormous Room by Torres. You can check out all the other music on Alt117 Spotify. Stay tuned to our Instagram, Alt117 FM, and you'll get a sneak peek at what music we're playing. I'll see you next weekend here on Alt 1017. Thanks for tuning in to your Alt Culture Weekend.